So we're back. It's day 2 of trying to do this thing. Just kind of coming out here and talking about what's on my mind and where I'm at and what we got going on. Since yesterday, technically, I've got a job interview tomorrow at the local gas station, so that should be good. It's easy for me. I can walk, right? Streaming this morning. I'm still actually live right now, and that's been good as well. Had some guy come into the chat, gifted 5 subs, which was pretty cool. That's the first time that's ever happened. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Shout out to him. But besides all the other stuff that I got going on, I did some work yesterday as well on the website for my brand, which was really good. I built my first product page, which was pretty cool, for the scarf that I showed in the last video. So I got a product page now, and you can choose which colorway you want, and it's still very infant stage, but it's coming together, and I'm excited to see where it's all gonna go. I definitely got to do work a little harder on kind of showing the process of how I take an idea and turn it into an actual thing, and kind of put my name out there and my face also, for the brand account. I got to kind of break out of my shell a little bit and explain the vision, explain the idea, and explain and show who's behind it. Really, people want to see that. People want to see the journey, and I don't want this video to be as long as the last one we posted. And going back and watching the last one, it was a bit repetitive, some of the things I was talking about. So I'm gonna try and keep this one short, sweet, and kind of get my point across. But today I kind of wanted to talk about true human connection, and what that means and what that looks like. I had the guy this morning, actually, who came into my chat, right, gifted 5 subs, and he kind of just appeared out of nowhere, right? I don't really know how he found the stream, but we just kind of, I guess, connected. It was an interaction, I'll say that for sure. And yeah, it was just cool. But I wanted to kind of go deeper about human connection, and I guess true love. At the end of the day, like, what does that look like and what does that mean? Obviously, if you have family in your life, they hopefully support you and love you, and you also have friends as well that support your dreams and believe in you and want to see you succeed. That's what good friends are for. But true connection and I guess true love it's hard, man. And we're all human. We all crave social connection, whether it's going out to a bar and talking and getting drinks, or if it's sitting at your computer and connecting with people online. We all have we all need it, and we all crave it. That's a basic fundamental of humans, right? We all need to connect. And I think it's funny that, and I kind of want to touch on this just based on some of my personal experience, but I've met people in my life and encountered people in my life where it felt like they were, I guess, my dynamic duo in a way, like what seemed like my best friend, and almost seemed as though I could live the rest of my life with them. I saw my whole future with this person, and I saw kind of me doing everything in my life with this person by my side. And that was a hard thing for me to process. Obviously, it was, a figment of my imagination, I guess, but it felt very real to me. And that's, I think, why I've struggled so much kind of letting go of that experience. And when I met this person, And this is, I think, is what like true connection should feel like and how it should go. When I met this person, it felt like I could put all the barriers that I'd ever put up in my life, every wall that I'd ever built for myself and put up, it felt like I could just completely remove all of them and just be in a complete state of, I guess, vulnerability. And maybe that's the wrong word, but it felt like I was safe. And it felt like I could be myself, and I wasn't judged, and it just felt like I could truly be the best version of me in front of this person, and I didn't have to worry about anything. And I think that's a super important feeling to understand and, kind of feel. It's a strange one, and when you find someone who makes you feel like that you can just kind of put every barrier down that you've ever put up, it's important, and that person is special. And you may interact and find people who awaken, I guess, your soul in ways that you never thought that you could be awakened, I guess. And it's important to cherish those experiences and look back on them and think about what that person taught you about your life. Whatever your beliefs are, we all have our personal beliefs, and we all have a different view of the way the world works, and our perception of reality, they're all different. But I'm a big kind of believer in, I guess, the red string theory, and that you may meet people in your life at a certain time, and you may go your separate ways, and ultimately it was because, right, you met them and they had an impact on your life, but that red string that ties us all together, I truly kind of believe in that. It maybe brought them away from you for a certain amount of time, and there's no true way to tell if that red string will bring you back, but I think it's important to, I guess, have faith. And I met this person at a time in my life when I was still very young. I didn't really have much knowledge. I was pursuing things in my life that I didn't really, I guess, care about. I mean, I cared about him, but it just wasn't really the path for me. And I still had a lot to figure out about, real life and kind of the way the world works. And ultimately, I had a lot to figure out about myself. And that was the most important part. Through the 2 years that have passed since this kind of experience happened to me, I've had a lot of time to self-reflect and learn a lot of things by myself about just life. And ultimately, you have to meet yourself, and you have to find your true self, meaning you have to find you. And I touched on this in the last video, but become that best version of you so you can find you. And you may be a little confused into, what that really means and what I'm saying, but I truly believe that, like, true connection and real love is almost finding yourself in another person. And obviously, we're all different, but I think that when you find somebody who speaks to your soul and speaks to you as a person, and it almost feels like you're looking at a version of you that is just in another body, it's quite the experience. And God, or that red string, whatever, it brought me away from that person for a very long time. And I did a lot of stupid things. I cared more about their safety and, what they were doing and where they were at. I completely lost touch of myself. I completely forgot who I was. I lost my touch of reality. I lost it. I really did, for a good amount of time. And it's always important to remember who you are and stay in touch with your reality. And obviously caring for other people and making sure that they're safe and they're okay is a good trait to have and a good quality. But if it comes at a, I guess, burden to you and your life, you need to take a step back and focus on you. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish. Sometimes it's okay to put yourself first, especially if it comes at a detriment to you. And you got to know when that is happening and when you have to put yourself first. I guess I've got to try and find a different place to record these little life talks I have, because the sun keeps interrupting us. But I think I wanted to end on the note that true love and true connection is real, and we all have somebody out there who's, I guess, waiting on us, and they're waiting for you to find you, your true self. And you can do it. You can find it. You can find it within you. And once you find it within you, you will find them. And, my personal experience and my, things that I've been through, it felt like I met that person already, but I wasn't even close to a point of truly knowing who I was. I was completely out of touch with my own self. And so will that red strain bring us back together? I don't know, right? There's no real way to know. And will I end up finding someone new who speaks to my soul better? That I don't know. But there's no way to find out, and there's no real way to know. We just have to keep going and keep persevering through every challenge that, God gives us, and every challenge that life throws at us as well. We just have to keep going. So you'll find your person. You will. You just have to find you. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching to the end. I'm going to keep trying to do these as I get ideas and as things come to my mind. Maybe we'll be back tomorrow. So thank you again. I'm out.